Hello children. Today we are going to discuss indirect and direct objects and possessive case in this video. So let us start direct and indirect objects. Going to discuss direct object. Now what is the direct object? The direct objects is a noun or pronoun that receive the action of a verb or show the result of the action. It answers the question who or what after an action verb. An action verb with an direct object is called a transitive verb. Verbs like give, ask, offer, promise, tell, teach take two objects after them. One of these objects refers to person and other object to something. Therefore, the noun naming the person is said to be the indirect object of the verb. The noun and that names the thing is to be the direct object of the verb. For example, we can see the teacher taught maths to Divya. Here you can see the teacher is a subject and taught is a verb. And here maths to Divya, maths is a direct object. And to Divya is a indirect object. It means the noun that names a thing is said to be the direct object of the verb. So that is how we can understood what is the direct object. So here you can see maths is a direct object and verb is taught and Divya is the indirect object. So a direct object is a noun or pronoun that receive the action of the verb or show the result of the action. Now, as you have seen, maths to Divya, taught maths to Divya. So here you can see this is verb and this is direct object and this is indirect object. This way we can understand. How to find a direct object? The question arises how to find the direct object. Find the prepositional phrases of the sentence and label it. Next, find the subject of the sentence and label it. Third, find the verb, the label, and label it as either linking or action. Look for the noun that receives the action of the verb. Label it as the direct object. Remember that linking verbs can't have direct or indirect object. They have predicate, adjectives and noun. Now here you can see a good trick. A good trick to find out the direct object is to ask yourself, what is being? Insert verb here. So this way we can understood how to find direct object. For example, it is given over here. The boy gave Susie baby food. The boy gave Susie apple baby food. Now here you can say the sentence is divided into these parts. There is no prepositional phrase. You can see over here there is no prepositional phrase. Now here you can see it is written over here, this is subject. There is no prepositional phrase and the boy is a subject over here. And here you can see in this slide, this is a action verb. This is subject and this is action verb. Direction: identify the prepositional phrase, subject, verb and direct object. Now example 2, Gary likes mashed potato with our sour cream. Gary likes mashed potato with the sour cream. Here you can see this is subject, this is action verb and these are the direct object. Who like? Gary likes mashed potatoes. So this is action verb and direct object is potato, and with here you can see the preposition. So this we have to understand. Now let's talk about indirect object. Indirect object, the noun naming the person is said to be the indirect object of the verb. Now I am giving an example. A kind man gave books to the child. Here you can see subject, a kind man. Because if we are asked the question, who gave books to the child? A kind man. So this is subject. Gave, here you can see this is verb. And books are direct object. What the thing? He gave to the child, the books. So this is direct object. And child is a indirect object. So this way we can understand what are the subject, what are the verb, what is the direct object and what is indirect object. So always remember, the noun naming the person is set to the indirect object of the verb. The noun that names a thing is set to the direct object of the verb. Now here the definition is given. What are direct object and what are indirect object? An indirect object precedes the direct object. Now here for the example I have already given an indirect object precedes the direct object. Always remember this first. And then tells to whom or for whom the action of the verb is done and who is receiving the direct object. Here the main thing in this definition you can see who is receiving the direct object. This is the main point. There must be direct object to have an indirect object. Indirect objects are usually found with verbs of giving or communicating like give, bring, tell, show, take or offer. An indirect object is always a noun. An indirect object is always a noun or pronoun which is not part of a prepositional phrase. How to find the indirect object? How we can find the indirect object in the sentence? Find the prepositional phrase of the sentence and label it. First rule is find the prepositional phrase and label it. And next is find the subject of the sentence and label it. Third is find the verb and label it as either linking or action. Now here the fourth, look for the noun that receives the action of the verb and label it. This is the, I think it is the main part. It is very easy to recognize which is direct object and this is, which is indirect object. So label it as the direct object. Look for the noun that tells to whom or for whom the action of the verb is done and who is receiving the direct object. Remember that linking verb can't have direct or indirect object. They have predicate, adjective and nouns. A good trick to find out indirect object is to ask yourself for whom. For whom, to whom is the direct object being insert verb here. So this is the good trick of to find indirect object. Always remember this. For example, the boy gave Susie apple baby food. Now we have discussed this example. Already discussed. The boy, here you can see this main subject. This is subject. And gave is a verb. And here you can see Susie. Susie is a direct object. Susie apple. So this way, this is subject, action verb, and here what is being given to the food is being given. So here you can say Susie apple baby food. So this is Susie food, baby food. This is direct object. And here you can see what is being given the food. The boy gave Susie apple baby food. For whom, to whom is the direct object being given? So here you can see Susie apple baby food, direct object. My mother gave me a shiny penny. Who gave me a shiny penny? My mother gave me shiny penny. And this way you can recognize these objects. The description of this sentence is given over here. Subject is my mother, action, verb is gave, and indirect object is me, and a shiny penny is a direct object. Sometimes what happened, the prepositional phrases is using as a indirect object. So always remember this type of the sentence is recognized where is the indirect object. This is indirect object, and the shiny penny is direct object. Now I am going to discuss this in detail. Here you can see the boy is subject, gave is action verb, indirect object is Susie, and direct object is baby food. So in this image you can understand what are the subject, what is the action verb, and what is indirect and direct object. It is clear to you. Here you can see this is subject, gave is an action verb, indirect object is Susie, and baby food is a direct object. So this way we can understand direct and indirect object case. Now the next case is possessive case. What do you mean by possession? Possession is used for showing possession or ownership. The possessive case applies to nouns, pronouns and determiners. For example, possessive nouns with a noun, the possessive case is usually shown by preceding it with of or by adding s or just to the end. And possessive pronoun, the possessive Case pronouns are mine, yours, his, hers, its, ours, and theirs. And here we are talking about possessive determiners also. The possessive case determiners are my, your, his, her, its, our, and their. The possessive determiners are known as possessive adjective in the traditional grammar. So today we are going to discuss about possessive case of nouns. When a noun shows possession or indicates the owner of something, it is said to be in the possessive case. For example, the dog bit the girl's leg. Vaishali found Gaurav's pencils box. Nisha lost her friend's water bottle. This is his car. That is Meena's dress. Mother washed Rohan's socks. Minal's schedule is fixed. The men's club is nearby. In the above sentences, girls, Gaurav's, friends, and his are in the possessive case because each denotes the possessor or owner of something. Now here you can see the formation of possessive case. The possessive case is formed in two ways. With S for people and animals, example Jim's flat, with the preposition of for things. Now here you can see, first of all you have seen it is with S for people and animal, and here you can see with the preposition of, S and of. So two ways to form the possession. This is John. These are John's parents. We use the possessive case to show that something belongs to somebody. For example, Mary's bag, John's ball, to explain the relationship between two or more people. Suppose the example is given over here. Tom's uncle, Peter's friend. To talk about shops and houses, he's at the baker's shop. They are at Bob's. So this way we can show the possession. Now singular nouns or proper nouns take S. For example, the boy's ball, Emily's car. When the proper name ends in S, we add S or only an apostrophe. Doris' hat or Doris' hat. Plural noun ending in S take apostrophe. The girl's house. Irregular pronouns take S, the men's boat. Now this way we can show the possession. Possession, possessor. Same thing belongs to two or more people. We add S only to the last noun. Paul and Tina's house. Here you can see two and more people. We are going to show the possession. So Paul and Meena house. The house belongs to both of them. That is why we have written Paul and Tina's house. Two or more things belongs to two or more people, and we want to show that each person has his her own thing. We add S each noun. Mary's and Tom's roller skates. Each has his and her roller skates. So here you can see with two people or two people's thing, we are using S. Asking about possession. When we want to know to whom something belongs, we use the question. Word whose. Whose horse is this? It's Helen's. So this asking, whenever we ask question in possession, to ask possession of something or someone else. So we have to use whose. And the answer will be here, it's Helen's. So this way we can write possessive case. At times the possessive case is used to convey meanings other than possession also. Now for example, we can write John Donne's poem. The poem written by John Donne, the king's throne, the throne on which the king sat, the baby's food, the food meant for the baby, the child's cries, the cries raised by the child. So formation of possessive case. The possessive case of singular noun is formed by adding an apostrophe, as you all have seen. With singular nouns ending with S, both and S are acceptable. With plural nouns that end in S, we add an apostrophe after S. Here we do not use S before apostrophe. The uniform of the nurses. Now here you can see the nurses' uniform. If we are going to write over here the uniform of nurses. So we are going to write the nurses' uniform. In plural, we have to put apostrophe after S. Nurses' uniform. So this way we have to make in plural forms. With plural forms that do not end with S, we use S. The gym for women, women's gym. Books for children, children's books. So these things we have to remember always. And fourth point is we use S only with living beings. Apostrophe is not used with non-living object. We do not say the chair's leg. So it is incorrect. We say the leg of the chair. We do not say the dining table's cover. We say the cover of the dining table. At times we may personify an object and treat it as a living being. Therefore, in case we can use an apostrophe with it. For example, his school's progress. We use apostrophe with nouns denoting space, time and weight. Let's solve some exercises which are based on possessive case. When a noun shows possession or indicate the owner of something, it is said to be in the possessive case. For example, the dog bit the girl's leg, Vaishali found Gaurav's pencil, Misha lost her friend's water bottle, this is his car, that's Meena's dress, mother washed Rohan's socks, Minal's schedule is fixed, the men's club is nearby. Here you can see the example, which is perfect example of possessive case. Now let's move to the exercise. On the concept of possessive case, we are going to solve these exercises. Write down the possessive form of the following. The telephone owned by John. So here we are going to write John's telephone. The house of her grandparents. Her grandparents house. The wisdom of Birbal. Birbal's wisdom. A holiday for a month. Month's holiday. Next is the shop of Nike. Nike shop. Next is the order issued by principal. Principal's order. So this way we will complete the exercise. Write the possessive form of the following. The second exercise is write the possessive form of the following. The customers of participants. The costumes of participants. So this is plural form. So we are going to write the participants apostrophe costumes. The union of teachers. The teachers union. The blessings of my teachers. My teachers' blessings. The hostel for working women. Working women's hostel. This is apostrophe. Now next is the flats in which the players live. The players' flats. Next is the wages of tailor. The tailor's wages. This way we will complete the exercises. So that's all for today. We will complete the exercise on the basis of possessive cases. Before concluding the video, we have to remember all these things. In the nominative case, the nouns carries out the action of the verb, or it is used as the subject of a verb. In the objective case, the noun has the action of the verb carried out upon it, or it is used as the objects of a verb, also known as accusative case. Certain verbs like promise, tell, teach, give, take two objects after them. One of these objects refers to some person, the other refers to something. Thus, the noun naming the person is said to be the indirect object of the verb. The noun that names the thing is used to be the direct object of the verb. For example, Ravi gifted Usha an interesting storybook. So here you can see subject is Ravi, gifted is verb, Usha is an indirect object, and interesting and storybook is a direct object. And in possessive case of a noun, the noun shows possession or indicates the owner of something. With plural nouns that end is yes, we add an apostrophe. After s here, we do not use s, we only use apostrophe. For example, the school meet for the girls' school. With plural nouns that do not end in s, we use s. For example, the gym for women's gym. So these are the points that we have to remember always to make nominative, objective and possessive cases. That's all for today. Have a good day.